Hi everybody, it's Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blueshirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in to find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers!
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
BS a Ranger fan. Get BS a Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers.
Good evening and welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Monday. It is January. It is still February 10th. Take two, as they say. We're going to try this again. I apologize for the technical difficulties the first time, but what can you do? My name is Jim, and as always, I am joined by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening. How are you now? We know how you were half an hour ago. How are you now?
I'm still tickled pink that the Rangers beat the Kings. For Paul Gaduzzi, who he loves to hate the Kings. They finally got it accomplished for him. So I'm glad they beat the Kings. And to me, it was not really, the score was not indicative of how really boring and slow this game was. But the Rangers come on top. We're now 4 games over 500 on the precipice of going to 5 games over, which they have not done all year. So to sum up take one, that's what basically I had said. Take two promises to be much better. I don't know. We kind of cursed Blog Talk on the first round, and I think karma came back to bite us because apparently I froze, you froze, we all froze. I don't know. We all Bob froze. I don't know.
Right, and now I can't type to the group. I can't type in the box. I can't chat. So I really don't know what's going on. I apologize. Shit happens. We'll muddle through. We'll succeed where others have failed, as Eddie likes to say.
Well, we all like to say that around here. I mean, you like to say that. We must succeed where others have failed. I mean, we muddled through Blog Talk Radio. We could get through chatting. I didn't even know that. I can't even really chat. I don't know how you chat on this thing. Oh, I see a box, but every time I hit the chat box, it sends me to the help desk. I don't know. Whatever. What have you? So you brought up a thing that David Quinn said today, and I think I was about to explode on this very issue tonight. But Quinn beat me to the punch, and I kind of like what he had to say. Can you tell the good people what he said today?
Yes, he said that no longer will they be trying to find playtime for everyone.
Right. It's over.
Right.
It's over, Johnny.
It's over, Johnny.
We're going with the hot hand. If the Rangers have any glimmer of going to the playoffs.
Over, Johnny. It's over.
That's right, Henrique. It's time to, go to the fashion show, hang out with Donatella Versace and Heidi Klum and the rest of them. your fellow Swedes. And let Georgiev be the backup. Let Shesterkin earn his bones. The guy's got a 4-1 record, 2.3 goals against, 934, somewhere around there, save percentage. We got to go with the guy who's winning games. It's time to try to keep his old goaltender sharp. That ain't the reason. Oh my God, these pop-ups that happen during this show. I got to disable this shit on this Windows 10. What is this nonsense? I'm sorry. Anyway,
That's okay.
No, they no more fooling around. No more fooling around. It's time to bear down here. It's a long shot the Rangers make the playoffs. That becomes more apparent every time Sam Rosen reminds us with that stupid graphic that I got to look at. Look,
right.
3 teams behind us. Detroit, the Devils. He went blank again. Now you're back.
There we go.
What the hell is going on tonight?
No, I did a refresh so I could try and get the chat back because everything, that whole right side of the chat side was frozen. Who was in the chat? New York Rangers. Who is that?
New York Rangers, hashtag New York Rangers. Hey, boys. Listen, I hope this is the actual New York Rangers.
It's John Davidson.
John Davidson, welcome to the program, JD. I've been a fan of yours for many years.
Rest in peace, Jim.
So I think it's time for Shesterkin is certainly the team plays well, although I really can't say that. They gave him 40 shots last night. They give up a lot of shots when he plays, but they seem to play a little bit better. They win the games. And Shesterkin has showed to me that he's the real deal so far. I mean, he's only going to get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's the good thing about him.
He's getting better every night. I mean, I think he just, and the guy never loses. We showed you the stat, and that's where the whole thing blew up. When I posted that stat that they showed last night on the that they showed during the game, where he's only lost 25 games the last 2 years. New York Rangers, I looked at your Facebook page. I don't think that's not really the Rangers. They haven't updated it. First of all, they haven't updated the page since October. And I know that's so I know it's not really the Rangers, but hey, we're happy to have you, whoever the hell you are.
That's right. Could be Joey Pacino running that thing. We're happy to have you, Joey.
Joey Pacino.
Former guest on this show.
Yeah, former guest. He was a good guest. He was funny.
Yeah. Oh, he could tell you stories. Babooey, Shampooey, I think that, yes, it's time to you give Shesterkin the deal. You give him the whole reins and you see where it goes. And we don't know exactly where it's all going to end up. We don't know if Georgiev is going to be moved at the deadline. But for now, Shesterkin is the goaltender, and he should be the goaltender. And he's earned it, and he deserves it, and is the heir apparent. So let's roll with it.
Right. And like I said, he's played very well. He seems to getting better every game. And
he has such an unusual style, though. He plays real straight up.
Yes,
like he's almost looks like he's too relaxed in a way. It's like, I'm not going to react till you actually take a shot. Like
hands are forward when he's in the net.
Right.
His stance has his hands out in front of him. But you get no argument from me. I love his glove hand. It's fantastic.
I like the way he covers the puck. He does that much better than Georgiev or Henrik. And the stick handling is a bonus too. I mean, this guy is a good stick handler.
Phenomenal, as Jim Rome would say. Phenomenal.
But really, seriously, like the Rangers, what was the last goaltender they had that could stick handle? Henrik can't even keep his hands on his stick.
Oh. No, he's not good at it.
Mike Richter wasn't a very good stick handler. Van Beesbrook. Can't really think of a Ranger goalie that was a good stick handler. But
hang on, I've got B Live. Just vamp for a minute here. I've got B Live technical support chiming in.
Be Live to the rescue. Yeah, I agree with Jonathan Riggs here. I just like the way he can move the puck, and what happened in that game last night. That game was a bore. Oh, those two games, the Buffalo game and the King game.
Oh, thank God I didn't go to that Buffalo game.
Oh, God.
That was awful.
Oh, man. Just take a nap already.
I was falling asleep during that game.
It was so boring.
Boring.
Yes. And the first two periods of last night's game, I'm like, ready. This is like sleepy time tea here.
Right.
Come on. And the Rangers not getting power plays, that's another thing. That'll put them right in the doldrums, too. They don't get any power plays, everybody's asleep. But they got the wake-up call, and I do agree. I think I actually agree with Micheletti, or was it, I think, Quinn, who assessed that the Rangers aren't good at boring, that they can't win a boring game. That it's hard for me not to laugh when I see these put up. I lose my complete
I'm sorry.
But when the game is no, it's fine. But when the game is boring, the Rangers just can't play that. Again, if they face a team with high octane that likes what the fuck with these window there's something on this thing. It's gotta be.
What's the deal with these Windows pop-ups?
They're pop-ups and they're like bling and they come in the corner of my screen. It's just annoying. So yes, so Rangers don't do good boring. But if it's a high octane game where you want to go toe to toe, the Rangers can be in it. They're awoken, but and you got to win the boring games. You got to find a way to win. Right. And I have been. I don't know if you've been, but I've kind of been impressed by the second tier players, so to speak. Although I was dumping on him the first week he was with the Rangers, Philip DiGiuseppe, I think is he's had a little bit of juice. I think a little bit of you like it a juice. You like it a juice.
We love it, DiGiuseppe. He's already got a beard. He's like 26 years old.
Well, some of these
big plays with some size. He had two assists.
Speed.
2 assists last night.
He
two
looks
assists.
like if I had to think about the Rangers call-ups there at the end, and I'm sure I probably missed that. But I remember like that Stephen Fogarty got called up. I saw nothing from him.
Fatso Fogarty.
Yeah, wasn't there some other dude they had up? I don't know. They haven't even called Terry up, I guess. But this Philip DiGiuseppe.
That's a sin.
Yeah, well. The DiGiuseppe looks good. I like that he's got size and speed. That could be something. And also Greg the Leg McKegg, as much as we like to, give him the old, we like to bust on him once in a while. He does chip in, and he, again, I don't know where we're going with the lifetime of Greg McKegg as far as a Ranger goes.
The lifetime.
But, he's not
Greg McKegg beginnings tonight on MSG.
Right. He's not going to be 6 years down the line. Greg McKegg's not going to be on this team. He might even down another year. Who knows? But for what he does, he does it pretty well. And then you got the kid line. But there were some guys I was high on, and now they've kind of hit a wall. And I know
Panarin.
Wow. 3 games.
Oh, it's finally that long drought's over, huh?
Yeah.
4 games.
No, I think, and I don't want to take any heat or guff for this. I'm just going to point it out. I think Ryan Strome, he did pick up an assist, but he hasn't done much lately on the score sheet. He's kind of hit a little bit of a wall. You know who continues is Tony D'Angelo. He just doesn't stop, this guy. I mean, there's no doldrums for him.
No.
And I think my man and Jen's man, Brendan Lemieux,
Baby Claude?
Baby Claude doesn't seem to have, since the injury, since coming back, I don't see the gumption there. I mean, he works hard, but I'd like to see him get on the score sheet a little bit more.
He did score the Dallas game. He scored, had a goal and an assist.
Okay.
I think.
I mean, I don't want to bury these guys. I just want to know, I know you can't be good all season and then be like on the score sheet all season, or everybody would have 80 goals. But I just seem a little bit, they haven't, Strome especially, I think is cooled off a bit. But especially, we play. So he did set up Panarin very nicely a couple times last night. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out at this trading deadline, which it seems everything is hinging upon. And I really don't know what direction the Rangers should go. Kakko gets a goal last night, Jim.
Floppo
Kakko, absolutely stunning me, who I was going to come on this show, and he derailed a rant about how he can't score on 5-on-5, and then he gets a 5-on-5 goal. So 8 goals for him. If he winds up with 10 or 12, I think that would be acceptable to me. That's basically what Filipino did in his first season. And right. I think we're seeing the maturation of Filipino night after night, making some really good passes. And, he's turning into a good player. And so the Rangers are fine, but it's hard for me to accept they're not making the playoffs. I want to be in the playoffs.
You're not used to it by now?
Well, I am used to it in a way, but it's so much. There's so much other things to talk about. Like I said on the Take One broadcast, that there are so many things to talk about, or who they're going to play, and what slot they're going to finish in. And after the trading line, it gets very anticlimactic because now everything is wait till next year.
Right.
And
after the trade deadline, it's just when they make the moves that pretty much look forward to next season, then it's just a limp to mid-April to get this thing over with.
Yeah, I mean, I still root for the individual players. I would love to see Panarin I want to see Shesterkin. Now, listen, I'm not counting them out. I think it's slim that they make the playoffs, but you never know. If you ride the back of a good goaltender, this 3-goalie thing isn't working because you get the really good in Shesterkin, you get the sometimes good with Georgiev, and you get it's never good with Hank.
Unless he plays Detroit.
Yes, unless it's a 1-0 shutout against Detroit.
Right. Our king! He's the king! He's back! He's back!
That was... we all knew that was...
Oh, we didn't all know.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said...
Anybody who's paid attention, we knew.
Last week's show, I think you mentioned it, that now the people are starting to come on board when it's the end of the line with Henrik.
Yeah, it's a lot more than it used to be. Now, Diane brings up what Larry Brooks was talking about the other day, and we'll get to that in a second. But since this is take 2 of the show, I want to do this again because we're gonna delete the first show. We're just gonna pretend like it never happened. So we do have, as I announced yesterday in the group, we did get the podcast back onto Spotify, and for those of you that have been waiting, finally, here it comes. We are back, baby, back on iTunes where we belong. Our first show has finally, our first Podbean show is up there. It is ready to go. So if you have the podcast app on Apple, you should be able to find us. And I know we're on Spotify. And like I said, you could also just upload the or download the Podbean app, and we're on there too. So there are lots of ways to listen to the podcast after this show's over and take us with you. And that will continue should we move to YouTube Live, which is still a probability at some point. So we'll take that out of there. So there you have it, Eddie. We're back on iTunes. I know a lot of our international fans, that's how, because we're broadcasting in the middle of the night for them, but they like to get up in the morning and listen to us on their way to work, driving the wrong way on the wrong side of the road and on the wrong side of the car, and they take us along with them.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that's good news.
I see my friend Coho Boy is here. John
the great John Backey.
Yes. His original screen name was Coho Boy, even in the Blog Talk days, which now are no longer. Blog Talk is out.
Which is now just part of our history. It's the archives.
It's funny. Costa is mentioning that Jack Hughes only has 6 goals and 13. He said he was hurt for a bit, but his brother Quinn, he's got crazy stats for a defenseman. He's got a good chance of winning this Rookie of the Year. And when I saw these guys drafted, I was like, God, these guys weigh like 8 pounds. How are they going to make it? But apparently this Quinn Hughes is the real deal. So
8 goals, 33 assists for Quinn Hughes.
Adam Fox is having a good year. What's Adam Fox got?
Let's see.
Like 7 and 20. That's 7 and 20. 7 goals, 20 assists.
6 and 23.
That's still very good for a rookie defenseman.
Yeah, very good.
The Rangers, they've got the right guys, but they need a little more seasoning. I really think they should get some veterans in here, like real veterans, like guys who've been in the wars, have won something. I feel like this team needs some kind of leadership other than the coach. I feel like the coach is, you don't think Hank's a leader? You don't think? Oh, Hank's checked out. Are you kidding me?
He's checked out. He's got senioritis.
He's got front row seats on the runway for Fashion Week. He's not sitting with the guys and saying, listen, we got to win this game. It's ours for the taking. He's not that guy in the locker room. I don't even know if there are those guys in hockey that are in the locker room saying, hey, listen, like Messier was. Again, Messier being the ultimate leader. But just a guy like, hey, I hate losing. Why are we losing to these idiots? Jimmy Vesey is on their first line. We can't beat these guys? That's what I've been saying in that Buffalo game. Now, I know Carter Hutton's had some good games against us, but come on, Buffalo. They stink. They lose to them on home ice. There should have been a couple veterans in that dressing room chewing out everybody. And it's true, Jen. I agree with you. Jim doesn't agree with us. The Rangers need a captain. I don't know. Zibanejad to me looks like the captain.
Mika's the captain. He just doesn't have the C, but he's the captain.
You know, he's the captain. But you know how I give the captainship to if he gets signed and he remains? D'Angelo. D'Angelo seems like one of those guys, got no problem saying what's on his mind. And if he leads by example, he's got the room to talk about like that. But if he doesn't have leading by example on the ice, then he can't. And he's a little bit younger. But hey, you got to have some guy who's not afraid to speak his mind and who hates to lose. Mika leads by example. I don't know what kind of personality he's got in the locker room. I don't know if he likes to DJ the songs in the locker room. I don't know what he likes to do. Okay, he's all into that EDM, that electronic dance music. Joe Petroni, I'm going to tell you why the Rangers need a captain. Because it's a mishmash. You got to have somebody in the locker room. You got to have a head honcho, somebody to answer to as a player. And that's what I'm saying. You can't have this. You need somebody is kind of a conduit between the coach and the team. I mean, maybe this is an old-fashioned way of thinking of it, and maybe it doesn't exist anymore. But I'm sure Jonathan Taves, if something has to be said, who's the captain? I think he's the captain, right, Taves? Or Keith? I don't know. What the hell do I know? But I'm just saying, if you got that, they're a conduit to the coach. And it's just like, this is how it should be. We're running around with 3 A's, 3 assholes. I need a captain.
3 assholes.
I need a captain. I need some semblance of it all. We don't have a mascot. We got to have a captain. But we got to have a captain. And listen, Quinn's the one kicking everybody's ass. I feel like he's like a high school principal trying to get all these kids in line. He's got to talk to Buknevich. He's got to talk to D'Angelo once in a while. He's just, why does Buknevich need a kick in the ass every week? I don't get it. He's been playing well. I mean, I don't want to get onto him, but one time you got to become a pro. You don't need the coach to be babysitting you. If you have a player in there, like again, I'm holding the captaincy to Mark Messier type. And come on, let's face it, there aren't many of him in sports, the type of leader he was, but just organized. I agree with Jen. Everything's a 20-year decision. Just so, what does it mean? Just name a captain to satisfy me and her.
That's all that really matters.
Like it's such a coveted thing. Come on. Yes, I think veteran leadership would help this team a long way in the even game-to-game stuff. You know me, I was a couple of years ago, I was saying nobody under 21, 23. It's happened, and now there's really no leaders left. You can't really go to Mark Stahl, who's led them to nothing. I mean, but he's got one gimpy foot out the door, too. Yeah, I mean, he's leaving in a year, too. So, it's just the little things that irk me. But I don't think it has any effect on the Rangers making the playoffs.
How do we know Mika's going to be a Ranger in the future? Mika's a free agent at the end of next season. Is he UFA? I think so. Yeah, he must be. He's going to be 26 or 27.
These contracts go real fast.
I think he's a free agent at the end of next season. You think he's going to be in line for a big old contract?
Well, give it to him.
Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies.
It's true, though. I mean, he deserves it. I mean, if he continues, the guy's so what?
$8 million, $8.5 million, $9 million, $10 million.
It's actually like, for instance, like Mika's. Did you see the shot he had that hit the post of the crossbar there last night? That extra effort that like everybody should have. Like never give up quality. But as Jen said, maybe some guys don't want it. They're just like, hey, look, I want to do me. I'm really not into this like a team building. But it's I mean, it's not monumental.
No, I stand corrected. Mika Zibanejad's contract runs out at the end of 2022. I thought it was next year.
Oh, thank God.
I should have asked the guy who does nothing but sit and look at money on the internet before I said anything.
Yes.
Guy knows everybody's contract going back to Alfie Pike.
Well, listen, everybody has their pluses. Yeah, he kind of scared me that he's going to become a UFA. I was like, well, I think we signed this guy for a little bit longer. I wonder if it's okay. It's okay. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down the line. I mean, I don't know. Now, what somebody's reporting, Larry Brooks, is Diane Eck was saying that they're going to buy Hank out.
Larry Brooks had speculated in his column the other day that the Rangers would buy Hank out at the end of this season because this cannot go on. We can't go on together with suspicious mind.
What do you mean it can't go on?
It can't go on. This can't last another season.
If you trade Georgiev, Hank's the backup to the end of his career. That's it.
No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's already happening.
Yeah, but they're not going to do this for a full season. That's Larry's point. That was Larry's point. Look, I'm all for it. Get this guy off the team. That miserable
I hate
puss.
buying out.
I'm not a fan of it either, but we can't do this another year with that miserable puss sitting on the bench in that gigantic hat that he wears with the big brim and the sour beard, and it's just, come on. He's starting to look like the creepy guy hanging around the playground now. I mean, we got this 40-year-old man with all these 20-year-old kids.
You know what? You do pay a backup $8.5 million. Could you sign that idiot? You live with the pain. You pay.
The penalty's not bad if they buy him out. It's only, it's like, I don't know, a year or two of a little bit of dead cap space.
I think you talk.
The Giants paid a backup a lot more than $8.5 million, Sean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just, to me, it wouldn't make any sense, especially if they send Georgiev packing. What are you going to make Hanks better than who's the other guy they got down there? I forget his name at this point.
Huska.
Adam Huska.
Bring up Adam Huska. Why not?
Huska
no, they don't have to bring him up. You just go get some other guy. You get somebody.
Why? You're that disenchanted to not even look at him?
What makes more sense to spend $8.5 million for Hank as a backup, or if they don't have, assuming they don't have Georgiev next year, you just go get we could just put a garbage can back there for $100,000.
Right. But there's a couple things at fact. First of all, how much money it's going to be dead cap space if they buy him out? We have a number on that.
What? Say that again.
If they buy him out, how much dead cap space will they have? Do we have a number? Did Larry Brooks in his investigative journalism that he does when he does his podcast with Kotze, what did he come up with?
Hold on, I'll find it for you. I just gotta, let me see.
Sean says only 1.5. I'll take it at 1.5 and every day of the week. Howie said 1.5, so I got double corroboration.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. 1.5. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. But do you think Henrik Lundqvist, the Ranger brass, is going to end his career on a buyout with the New York Rangers? Would that be the way they want Henrik to be remembered as? He was bought out and then he played his remaining.
Isn't that how everybody gets remembered as a Ranger?
This is a man
had a great career as a Ranger, got bought out in 2015. Had a great career as a Ranger, got bought out in 2016. Except for Chris Drury, who had a horrible career as a Ranger and got bought out. We had an injury buyout or something, right?
Well, yes. Well,
one of the greatest days of my life.
Well, Dan Girardi certainly was a notable Ranger who deserved a better fate as far as the Ranger organization. Ryan McDonough, he only played probably 6 years with the Rangers. He wasn't like a guy who really was all in. And really the icon, the face of the New York Rangers, the foamy, famous face, if you will, has been Henrik Lundqvist. I understand it's business first, but you got to think like these executives. And they got to think of the promises they've made to Henrik over the years. Will they honor these promises? Will they say, bye-bye, guess what? You're on Calgary now. You
made me promises.
So I think Diane Eck saying it's not a country club, it's a hockey team, bye-bye.
Is that a Sheryl Crow song? This ain't no country club.
Yeah. So Jonathan Riggs brings up a good point. If they could screw Brian Leach, they could screw anyone. That's true. So you might have a point there. I think if it's 1.5 million, Jim,
you're on board.
I'm on board with that.
You're on board. Welcome to the show.
I know, Joe, but Joe seems to he's coming at me tonight. He says nobody stays with the same team throughout his career. No, that's true, except Sidney Crosby, except Mark Stahl. That was the trivia question last night. Who was Anze Kopitar?
Anze Kopitar, Stahl, Crosby, and who's the other one?
Somebody else. Who was the answer to it? And I think mainly because he's an old schooler. I think the new school guys, no, they don't stay with their. But Lundqvist has been with this team for umpteen amount of years. So I think it's, and again, the face of the franchise. But I think in lieu of the information that has been given to me by all the people who've tuned in and chatted, and Jim, I am going business first. $1.5 million I could deal.
Carey Price, thank you. Who's Carey Price?
Carey Price. So, to me, there
you go.
That Eddie. Is yes, I got Carey Price. Very good. Ovechkin too. I mean, there's a lot of guys who play with the same. Now, listen, those guys are high echelon players for the most part. They're higher echelon players, but Henrik was a higher echelon at one time. Right now, he's
not. Just not.
So 1.5. I don't know. Anthony Fagan, I know the cap space is so convoluted with the Rangers. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Somebody posted something on Reddit about what they could do, when they could do it, but this had to happen. And can you figure out my math if I'm wrong? And I was like,
they're still paying Don Maloney. From his buyout.
Yeah.
I think Don Maloney still gets 85 cents every year on his buyout.
I mean, I get a headache just looking at a menu.
Now, another suggestion that Larry Brooks made, in the interest of retaining Tony DeAngelo long term, is that he suggested that the Rangers would be foolish not to entertain offers for Jacob Trouba.
Dumb. Nobody's going to take Trouba at that money.
You don't think so?
Why would they want to trade a guy who's going to be the cornerstone of the defense?
Is he though?
Yeah.
He's
playing with Brady Shea, for God's sakes.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just
posing
questions.
So?
it's just you got a lot. You're gonna have a lot of money tied up on defense next year if they keep DeAngelo.
They always have. At least it's with the right guys this time. It's not Kevin Shattencake.
Shattencake. I like that better. Shitty cake.
Shitty cake. DeAngelo was young. All right. We've got a sample size. I mean, I think it's a little bit larger than, I don't know if it's been a little bit larger than Brady Shea's before we signed him.
But one of those, and again, people in the chat room here going fucking nuts. I don't write the news. I just report it.
Michael Silvers,
one of the guys,
the cornerstone.
One of the guys making a lot of money on that defense is Brady Shea.
How many years has he got? 2?
Brady Shea? I don't know. Ask Costa. 12? I think there's 12 years left on his deal.
Adam Fox will become the cornerstone, but right now we got a small sample size of this guy.
Oh, here it is.
He's been fantastic so far, but I don't think he's the cornerstone. I think Trouba has got a track record.
Jacob Trouba's no-move clause kicks in on July 1st. The management would be foolish not to listen if there are inquiries into the 26-year-old before then.
He's not getting moved. They didn't go out and get him to trade him. Doesn't make any sense. For Tony DeAngelo? No, it's not happening.
Okay.
I just can't see an absolute. You got to keep DeAngelo, but not the risk of Trouba. That doesn't make any sense. Trouba's the only one on that back line that has, I think Lindgren has a little bit of grit. DeAngelo, he'll fight, but Trouba's the only one who's standing up, and he's playing with Shea. Imagine he plays with somebody decent. And his stats are not that bad for he's playing second line power play, and
just throwing it out there for discussion.
I know. I don't mean to get so hot about it, but I saw this mentioned earlier in the last week, and I was like, Trouba ain't going nowhere. Everybody gets a new.
Oh, well, good. Brady
Shea.
Shea's a UFA in just 3 years. Oh, that's great. 4 years, actually.
Oh, God. How would they give him a 10-year contract? I feel like this guy's been going south since he got a contract.
It's like Gretzky's original contract was until 1999.
Yes. DB maybe does make a good point in here that Keandre Miller and Niels Lundqvist will be coming in. They get established. Yeah, that's true. But then it'll become time to pay Adam Fox.
Right.
I mean, this is a continue.
It never ends.
It never ends.
Never ends.
Just
trade them all. Fuck it. Start over. Write another letter. Dear fans, tear up the last letter. This is the new letter.
You know a guy is bad when the fans are starting to say, maybe Seattle will take him.
Right.
Like they're a dumb organization. They'll be like, hey, Brady Shea, look at him. He's good. Do you remember when we did the show when the Rangers signed Brad Richards and fans were already speculating when Richards would be bought out? Yeah.
It's the same. It's like same thing.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Fun fact, Gretzky's contract was a personal services contract. Kind of like the contract Joe Catroni has with us. Personal services.
Yes. I like the whole money angle, but it's too distressing for me to discuss. Because like I said, now I'm already thinking about Adam Fox. We're gonna have to pay him. What is he gonna want? $7 million? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really never ends. We got to stop drafting good defensemen, acquiring good defensemen. But listen, the Rangers got a good base. And really, when Henrik's money comes off the cap, and if that is expedited with a buyout, things are going to be a little bit better. I mean, we managed this far with this clown's contract. And, when Mark Stahl's come off, there's another $6 million man that's going to go bye-bye. So it's going to be something to watch. If you had to say there was a key weakness in the Rangers game, what would you say it is? Fans at home, fans in the chat room. If you had to pinpoint why the Rangers aren't better, and just don't give me they're young. I want a facet of the hockey game that you think is the reason. And don't say Henrik Lundqvist either. Okay, this is team, forwards and defensemen. What would you say?
I would say a combination of mental toughness and physical toughness, but I don't mean from the sake of this team doesn't hit. And like I've said, they make it too easy to play against them at times. They don't push back enough. They don't. You can be tough without fighting all the time, and there's not enough dirty players on this team. They're too easy to play against at times. So I think mental toughness and physical toughness, and yes, as Jen said, face-offs. But not overcoming adversity, I think is mental toughness.
I would agree with that. I would agree with everything that's been said in this chat room. I think Josh Gimbel's right. Third and fourth lines are, the third line's basically a developmental line. So Philip Hedl, Capo Caco, and Howden are not going to bring you any kind of heavy game whatsoever.
Right.
So that does contribute to them not being very weak. And the fourth line, I mean, listen, it's been a conglomerate of idiots. For the most part. You had Michael Haley in there.
Done for the season.
Oh, yeah? What happened to him?
Oh, he had surgery of some sort.
They're too soft. They can't compete with a heavy team. No, I agree with that. I think the adversity is a big thing. They get crushed really early, and they let the other team set the tempo of the game. If it's a tempo the Rangers are comfortable with, they can roll with that. But if it's a tempo that they're uncomfortable with, they never make an adjustment. They seem to be, they're following other teams' lead, so to speak. Yes, a lot of people still with the overpassing. Yeah, I think you're going to see that. The Jesper Fast. Yeah, I think everybody's got every one of you have valid points.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with anything anybody said here.
Yeah, even Charlie Grant, who said we poke check too much. And that's true. When you're reaching constantly and not hitting the guy, that's a sign of, some poor play by the forwards on the defense. Right, Jonathan Riggs, I think you're spot on. But I think I would like to see a veteran presence in there. You don't have to make him the captain, but just get some veteran in there who has been through the wars. Maybe he can teach these kids. It's invaluable. I mean, Rangers had Martin St. Louis way back when, and I think it really helped the Rangers in the playoffs and during the season. You need a guy like that. I mean, I don't know if they're still around.
Maybe just another, a veteran player will teach them how to hate to lose. I'm not sure there's enough guys on this team that hate losing. Like Chris Kreider, he hates to lose. You could see it when they talk to him after the games. He's disgusted at times when they play a bad game. And I don't know if there's enough of that going around yet. And maybe that's another thing a veteran can teach them. Plus heat maps and Corsi. I think we need those things.
Yes. Let me ask you guys this question. I'm sorry. Go ahead with the heat.
No, that's it.
Maybe I'm a little bit set in my ways, a little bit of a grump puss. Maybe I'm not with the times or whatever. But you notice that on the bench they start showing the guys the video of their shifts. I saw them doing this with Greg McKegg last night. They come over with a little tablet and they show him the last shift he played.
Yes. Yeah. We've seen that quite a few times this year. I like that.
I don't like it.
No, I like that. I think that's great. I mean, what does a football player do the minute he goes to the bench after an offensive and defensive series? Especially the quarterback and the running backs, the receivers, the linemen, they're overlooking at the last series. What went right? What went wrong?
Because, especially in football, there are set plays, and each play is designed, what you called on the offense and the defense. And they go back and they review, well, you should have been here when you should have been there. In hockey, it's so random. You eat from shift to shift. Sure, you play a system.
Yeah, but I think you could look at the iPad, look at the replays and see maybe where breakdowns were. Maybe a guy was out of position, see where he should have been. I like it, actually. I think it's
I think if you I think it's little there, it's
I think it's a nice way. I think it's a nice way to get a line to bond. If they're watching these things together, when they get to the bench and they're watching these clips together, they can all figure out what they did right and what they did wrong. I like it.
You know what?
I think you're just an old grump set in your ways, my friend.
If you don't score a goal, it was a bad shift. You don't have to see a video. Save the videos for after the game or before the game. Did I score a goal?
What would Bill Chadwick say? Tip! Back in my day, Espo didn't watch videos with Carol Van Day and Ken Hodge. They just had a beer and went back at it.
We didn't need Captain Video back in our time. I don't know. I don't like it. Maybe it's just all of that, I'm old-timey with that newfangled contraption.
Chip, what's an iPad?
Oh, man, you got to show a guy the shift right after he came off, what he did wrong. You got beat to the puck. Yeah, you got outworked. Yeah, you got this. I mean, really.
How about this? Looking for weaknesses.
What, that guy with that Fakakta web group? That guy hasn't posted since October.
He's here supporting our show.
All right.
Wow. Now
I'm a little hot right now. A lot of people disagree with me.
You're all kinds of fired up.
Usually people agree with me, but I guess I agree with Patty Duke. Me and Patty Duke are simpatico on this. What'd you learn? 2 shifts later, you forgot what you learned. Come on.
No, she says 2 days later. Going over these shifts 2 days later is useless. The intricacies. That's the first time. That's the first time this word's been used on this show. Intricacies. Jim, the only pad I knew was mine to lure the Gabor twins.
Oh, God. I don't care. The players are asking for iPads. They're asking for smelling salts. They get enough. Well, yeah, it's for hookers on the bench in between shifts. They're going to do that?
Hey, if that's what it takes. You got a young team.
Yeah, it's active. It's active. Don't make me go off on you. So, so listen, I think it's just...
Jim,
Yeah.
for a goaltender to be good, he has to be lucky, and that time Hardy Astrom was lucky.
A great Bill Chowder.
The one and only.
He'll cool me down. He'll cool me down, that guy. It's always good for laughs, even from the grave.
Not one of your better hockey players. That's always one of my favorites.
That Mike Krasicki. Yeah, so...
That's the way they go to a hockey game in Los Angeles.
Yeah. And I think the Rangers, especially going back, they do let the other team dictate. And they have hard times. When they give up a couple goals in a row, they wilt. They just wilt. All right, so we talked about that. What else we got, Robin?
Did you watch the whole game last night?
Of course.
Did you watch the game on Madison Square Garden Network?
Yes, I did.
How about Joe Micheletti? Is Joe Micheletti just a fucking asshole or what? I mean, he's just an asshole. I used to think he was dumb and he was a dope and he was just half a retard, but he's an asshole. He brings up, oh, Sam, there's Alex Martinez. He scored that game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup against the Rangers. Who does he work for? Do we really need to be reminded of that? Were there any other nuggets he wants to bring up? Does he want to bring up like the 2004 Red Sox or maybe the 2015 Royals while we're at it? Does he want to bring up
crisis?
Ron Francis. I mean, anything. Chris Drury, and then Chris Drury. He's God. What an asshole! And then,
how do you not know the room?
6 minutes before the game's over, they're giving out that dopey save of the game, and they give it to Jonathan Quick. Our goaltender was playing pretty good, wasn't he?
Definitely.
I fucking hate Joe Micheletti. And then that stupid, the Artemi Panarin cam. Oh, my God. Whose idea was that?
That was dumb. The person who came up with that should be fired.
Whose idea was that? Half the shots, he was either coming off the bench, getting on the bench, or standing on the bench.
It was annoying. I don't want to see him. I'll see him when he's got the puck in the full field. Oh, and how many times they promoted it. Oh, Artemi Panarin. Oh, we got the spotlight, MSG Go, blah, 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 like 14 times during the game. What a season he's had. Meanwhile, the guy's struggling at the time. I'm like, this is a jinx. Get this cam off him. He ain't going to score. You know me. I think like all Ranger fans. I'm waiting for a jinx or some kind of maloit that is causing our guys not to do well. And I'm going, he's talking about him. I don't get it, Jonathan Riggs. I still don't get it. And you get these dummies that keep saying, no, I don't want to bias the announcer. I want a biased announcer. Oh, well, it could be really bad. You could have Jack Edwards. Give me a Jack Edwards with the Rangers. That's a Ranger. That does make fun of the other team.
With that accent. Hey, look at Tony D'Angelo here coming down the ice. That's a hard shot he's got there.
When Steve Johns or whatever idiot scores for the other team, he should
look
be
at
like, this guy? This guy's a nobody. Oh, wow. I am grumpy. I know I'm old. Who cares? Who cares?
No way, Mike, is my buddy Chris a fellow Lakewood High School alumni. No way is he coming up with this stuff. He's smarter than that. Although he was a Bruins fan when I knew him, so maybe maybe it's sabotage, as William Shatner would say, sabotage.
Yeah. Even Albert, I can't stand his fat face all over the freaking his head. I don't want. Steve is good, but he's too nerdy. You gotta get somebody.
You don't like Kenny Albert?
I like Kenny Albert. He's good.
Oh,
yes. If Kenny Albert took Sam's spot, I would be ecstatic. Anybody could take Sam's spot. You could have Mike Tyson take Sam's spot, and I think it would be better.
now that would be something.
Yes. I don't know. It's just, and I want Mike Rupp to be the color guy.
Thank you, Mike.
That's my call on that. So that's the way I'm.
Put
done with this guy.
How about this? I like this one.
Yeah, the spotlight cam. He's making the call. But I like the fact that Sam has, at 73, has carte blanche to say when he's quitting. He doesn't know. It's time to go, Sam. Take you and that freaky haircut and get the fuck out.
I posted a picture of a Tribble on Twitter, and I said, it's the MSG spotlight on Sam's hair.
Yeah. Do a spotlight on his mistakes.
Oh, that's what we're here for. If they do it, then we're out of business.
And good to see assistant coach
I still got to get the other version of this.
behind the bench.
Yeah, Lindy Ruff.
Lindy Ruff. Mika! That's Artemi Panarin!
God. How do you not know that's Artemi Panarin? He's in on every goal. You might as well just call his name somewhere in the call. So
I think he mistook Greg McKegg for Kako last night, or vice versa. It was one or the other.
Yeah, and I think the Buffalo game was a travesty as well. I love when he goes to break and he doesn't know the score. It's 1-1, and he's like, it's tied at 0. I mean, 1-1. He does that a lot, too. He just blanks out.
Did I miss something here, Joe?
Yeah, you missed something. You dope.
Oh, goodness.
So what else we got? We going over it all pretty much, I think.
Sam, I like Mike's thinking. Sam must stay forever.
We've got enough, Mike. We've got enough. When he talked about the fatherly juices of one,
we got to start pulling those
Ryan
clips
Bork
from the sound effects show.
Ryan Bork,
the fatherly juices. Yep.
I mean, I think we had it, or he's marrying Gabbard with the groins problem. He's got a little bit of hitch in his giddy up.
Yeah.
There's another one.
There's a million of them.
Oh, man. So, anyway.
Save by Anderson.
Oh,
scores. It went in. I thought Anderson had it. Ryan Strome.
You know what's great? The video that Colin put together for us in the portion where Sam is eating his Papa John's pizza, you can literally see the food just going around in his mouth. It's fantastic. He's trying to talk, and there's food. There's all kinds of pizza hanging out of his mouth. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Let's go to our Buick players.
See, even that,
like a lot of phlegm. I don't know what's going on. Yes, Joe is
that
upset.
stick. That 5-hole was big.
The one-hand reach around, that's another great one.
That's another good one, yeah.
Rangers with Fox, D'Angelo, Strome, Lemieux,
Kako.
and Capo Caco. Thank you, Joe.
Uh-oh. Rock breaking news here. There's a big Wild and Pens trade.
It looks
breaking
like
news.
Jason Zucker is a Penguin, I think. But go ahead.
Oli Mata? I don't know. I haven't heard. I'm waiting for the chat room to break the news here.
I'll break it.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Here it is. Live. May 23rd, 2019.
May 23rd.
Yes. The Pittsburgh Penguins and Minnesota Wild have made a trade to send forward Phil Kessel away from the Pens. No, that's not obviously the trade.
Here it is. We've already got it. Here it is. Thank you, Jonathan Riggs. Wait.
You mean Phil Kessel? That's
waiting
not
for
right trade?
Roger Grimsby over there to give us the news.
Jason Zucker to the Penguins for Alice Galchenyuk, defenseman Callan Addison, and a 2020 first round pick. Wow, that's quite a haul there for Jason Zucker or Zucker, depending on how you pronounce it. I think it's a terrible trade for the Pens. I agree with you, Jonathan. So number ones are for Jason Zucker.
Jason Zucker, 29 points in 45 games. I know Galchenyuk was underachieving, and I think
he was struggling.
And the Penguins had moved him down to the fourth line. I was watching we were watching the Penguins Lightning game the other night, and they said, and they were talking about Galchenyuk. I don't know why I have trouble with that. So it's a lot to give up, but yeah, like Josh Kimball said, I'd put Kreider on eBay right now. See what's it.
Yeah, Galchenyuk was one of those Costa guys that he wanted us to get on the cheap.
Right.
Ranger fans always looking for a guy who once was good but stinks now.
Right.
Like that Josh Anderson on Columbus, like last year, he was really good, and this year he stinks.
Right. No more experiments. No more reclamation projects. Remember we had all those every year there had to be a reclamation project. Ryan Malone, Kevin Stevens. Who was I don't know. There were a bunch of them. Every year there was at least one with Sather. We always had that one reclamation project.
Speaking of which, did you see that Nathan Gerby got signed? I think it was Dallas when they played Barrett Heiston. That guy was the worst. I think Nathan Gerby got signed. You remember we released him and he got all pissed off that he didn't make the Rangers?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's if you're going to get that for Jason Zucker, what the hell are you going to get for Kreider? Now, I don't know Zucker's.
Jared Stahl, there's another one. Yes, thank you.
I mean,
Brent Fedek. Oh my God.
Now they're just going to start naming like just obscure Rangers.
That's why they got rid of Jared Stahl. Sam couldn't say his name. He had to go.
Exactly. Hey, Boyle's playing power play. Ryan Boyle's on the first line power play, I think, for the Cats. Roman Hamrlik. There's another one. So, anywho, there's a trade. They're making moves. Let's go, Rangers. But now we hear that the Rangers they're talking to Kreider's agents.
Right.
So, where are you guys on that? Trade or stay? I'm so conflicted. I don't know what to do. I'm frozen.
I think I don't know. I really don't. I love the chemistry he has with Mika and the other guys on the team. I don't know I really don't know what's better for them beyond this year. I don't know. I don't know what kind of money what his value is. I don't know. I can't make up my mind. Bobby Carpenter. Oh, that one hurt. That was a bad trade.
That was really bad.
Another in a long line of bad Espo deals.
Emerson
Anyway.
Edom, who had more Instagram posts than minutes as a Ranger. Everybody say stay, but at a humble contract. I don't know what that means. Stay. Everything is, I don't know, Jonathan Papadopoulos. I mean, really, who the hell are they going to trade Kreider for? What team is dumb enough to take that? The guy's an abomination on the ice.
Who, Shea?
Yes.
Oh.
He's terrible. What kind of sizzle reel they going to show somebody to tempt them? Him getting sizzled and burnt every night. That's about it.
You never know.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree with Joe. See, this is the first time I agree with Joe saying, why do they wait this late to start talking with Kreider when he starts doing good? Oh, I might want to keep this guy. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm conflicted. I like the guy. He's playing well now. We all know he's streaky. People say, well, I think it was you said he's never been this streaky. I think that's more contingent on not contingent, like maybe contingent on who he plays with. I mean, you play with Artemi Panarin, you're going to get premium scoring chances. And, he's got 20 goals, right? So that's not too bad. And so it's tough. It's tough. So, but also, again, I'm a little wary of let's trade. They're going to trade for more draft picks. Yeah, I know. Mike, I couldn't agree with you more. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know if he was touching himself, what he was doing on that side of that. He's picking up the stick, but the puck's going in front. I'm like, does this guy have a clue? Really? He doesn't have a clue? I don't know what happened to this guy. So Brady Shea, Paulie down a tone. I totally agree with you. I yelled at my TV too. I was screaming, throwing things. I threw my pasta vazul. It spilled all over my freaking shirt. I was upset after that goal. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I agree with you. I think Strome definitely is a direct product play with Panarin. But you know what?
That's kind of what you pay Panarin for.
That's what you pay for Panarin for. And what what's not supposed to do? Not score? And not get his points?
Right.
And again, this is a guy you got for nothing. He's
not paying him just to be old Solo Mio out there.
And he kills penalties. I mean, he's been. I'm not going to diminish his performance because he plays with somebody good. So, Valley was touching himself all night. Michael Silver says
that was what Sean McCaff reported. That
really?
he was sitting directly across from Valaket at the Garden and had a good view of Valley repeatedly adjusting himself.
Wow. I know. I'm not. Don't take any umbrage about. I just this has been a kind of not the first time it's come up, so I'm a little. I get triggered very easily when it comes to Ryan Strome for some reason. Although I did start off the program by saying he's been kind of he's been struggling of late. All right, what else we got, Robin?
Steve Valaket, touching himself while referencing his career, 897,834,234 times. Guy played 47 career hockey games, less than Chris Katsopoulos, and still talks about himself like he was Ken Dryden.
That's true. Who knows? He probably has the stats on how many times he played with his balls, too. From the right side, from the left side, up the middle.
From the side.
From the side. All right, so what else we got?
That's all I got.
Okay. We have anybody in the queue?
We do not.
Wow. I'm trying to think of anything else. What's the schedule look like coming up now?
The schedule. The Rangers are hitting the road. Winnipeg.
It's going to be a tough game. Patrick Liney's been playing pretty well.
Winnipeg, the Wild on Thursday, and then the Blue Jackets on Friday, Valentine's Day.
What are the odds Alex Galchenyuk scores against us when we play Minnesota?
Twice.
Whoa, what a mark he's made here in the Wild coming over from the Penguins.
Jelly of the Month Club. And then let's see, they play Friday night against the Blue Jackets, and then they play Sunday afternoon hockey day in America. Sunday afternoon at the Garden against the Bruins.
Wonderful.
Yes, I may be attending Saturday night. The Hartford Wolfpack are coming here to play the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and we might go to the game.
Oh, wow.
So if that's the case, I will report live from the arena.
Oh, you can report on Leah Sanders at Oops.
Right. I'll be giving you Vinny Lettieri updates.
Give me Vinny Lettieri updates. I want to know about Kravtsov. I want to know about Stephen Fogarty.
Fatso Fogarty.
Yes. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm listen. Shesterkin, ride or die, baby. Get ready. Strap yourselves in. Strap your chains on. Get ready. So Michael Keane, that's right. What's his name? Dan?
Joey.
Yeah, Joey. I hate that name, Joey.
Do you?
Yeah, like for hockey. I like Joe Mullen. I didn't like when they called him Joey Mullen. Well, I don't know. Hey, Joey. I don't know. The guy around the corner. I got a lot of hang-ups this week. I don't know. I got to get on grumpified.
Right. You're cantankerous this week.
I'm very cantankerous about the Oscars. That's what I'm cantankerous about. That stupid South Korean film won for Best Feature. No one ever saw that movie. No one's ever going to see that movie, and it won.
I never heard of it.
No, it's dumb.
Never heard of it.
Have you seen 1917 yet?
I have not. I want to.
It's a goddamn masterpiece.
That's what I heard.
And meanwhile, I got to take it for Saving Private Ryan was much better. Get out of here.
I did. We did watch the Joker finally on Saturday night.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Performance was. Yep. He won Best Actor.
That's one of the best acting performances I've ever seen. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I mean, he's absolutely fantastic in that movie. He really is.
He is, and there's not one scene he's not in. That's right. The best actor. There's a co-stars. I mean, De Niro's in it, but it's not a major one.
Yeah. A lot of it, a lot of the movie, he's by himself. He's not acting off anyone. You know what I mean?
Destitute Child said he played with Joe Mullen. You think you know how to spell his name right, though?
Wow. You're just.
I don't know.
Nobody's safe tonight.
I'm sorry, Destitute. You must have grown up in Hell's Kitchen. That's where Joe Mullen played with his brother, Brian, who I met. Very nice guy. Maybe it was the Oscars. I don't know.
Right, the Oscars got you all upset. I didn't watch a minute of it. I'm fine.
I tape it and then I fast forward through the whole fucking thing.
I woke up this morning.
I'm sorry, Destitute Child. I'm sorry. My apologies.
I got up. I took a shower. Jen was in the kitchen. I came out. I said, "Did Joaquin Phoenix win?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Good. That's it. That's all I cared about."
Yes. So it was. I really had no beef, but the best picture. Come on, South Korea. No one watches that film, and no one's going to watch it. Dumb.
Supposed to be a comedy. From what I heard, this is just what I read. It's a dark comedy, but none of it's in English. Who the hell's gonna? How are you gonna relate to that? How are you gonna relate to a comedy when you're watching subtitles? You know what I mean? Like when you watch a comedy, part of it is delivery and inflection and things like that. How are you gonna get that watching? So get out of here.
I already know the whole plot. You don't have to show me the movie. That these people work for these high rich people. They assume their identity and, they kill them off or whatever. And then now they're rich and then somebody does it to them and the Parasite. End of the movie. Good night. And subtitles. Very good. I'm into subtitles if it's a drama. But I agree with Jim. If it's something that's comedy, there's timing, there's this. And
right.
How am I going to laugh at a foreign language either? I have to hear the actual language to get the feel of the joke. There's a lot in presenting a joke.
Right. I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time, and in my opinion, one of the funniest movies ever made is Midnight Run. Could you imagine just sitting and watching this just with no sound and just watching subtitles of Midnight Run? It would never be. I mean, half the movie, it's the way De Niro, the timing of it and the inflection and the cursing. You're not going to get that from the subtitles or Blazing Saddles or, I don't know,
Right.
History of the World and some of the other funny movies.
Exactly. What in the wide world of sports is going on here? I hired you to like a bunch of Kansas City faggots. Like, that's funny. Like that his voice, his southern drawl, the whole bit.
History of the World when they do the Roman scene and Tom DeLuise falls off the bed and just gets up and goes, "Okay, faggot, what's next? How are you going to laugh at that in subtitles?" I mean, that was hysterical.
Yeah,
I love that. That's my favorite Mel Brooks movie was History of the World.
Really, that's saying a lot. No,
that's my favorite. Blazing Saddles right behind it, but History of the World's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies. I could still see that people got good movie taste here. The Jerky Boys movie is very underrated, by the way. I think. Not that it was ever overrated by anybody, but I just think that a lot of people dismissed it because it was, what it was. But
I got put into my friend Johnny Prestano invited me into a Shea Stadium group on Facebook the other day. And one of the members of the group who's like a regular poster is Kamal from the Jerky Boys.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
He's a big Mets fan. So,
yes. All right.
Excuse me while I whip this out. All hail Caesar, Emperor of Rome. The little fag gets it. The jig is up and gone. Gregory Hines, he was great in that movie. Seize this, honkus. Spaceballs, I don't know. It's funny at times, but Spaceballs to me is not on the level of History of the World and Blazing Saddles. Or even Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
I don't know.
Spaceballs really appeals. You're a big Star Wars guy, but a lot of the younger Star Wars fans really like Spaceballs.
Yeah. I don't have that.
All right. Let's end this. I gotta go have a drink.
All right.
I think a belt after this.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Glad we were able to straighten this out and get a good show in for you guys. And the show will be up on iTunes and Spotify tomorrow. So feel free to download it. Take us with you wherever it is you go. If you want to sponsor the show on Patreon, it's www.patreon.com/Blueshirt Underground Radio. Contribute every month. Donate. Money. We'll put you in our Facebook group, the Blueshirt Undergrounders. We do nightly recaps of the show. Ranger games. We do post-game video recaps, all kinds of fun stuff in there. Eddie, always a pleasure. Happy Valentine's Day, my friend.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day, my friend. Hey, maybe I'll be in better spirits. The Rangers win 3 or 4 in a row. I'll be all, sunshines and hand jobs next time.
And on that note, good night, everybody.